The dreamlike wedding of Park Seo Joon and Lauren Tsai as they walk into the aisle. What really happened behind those picture-perfect smiles and sparkling chandeliers? Was this a fairy tale come true? Or is there more than meets the eye? Welcome to Red Carpet Revealed, where glamour meets truth. Let's dive into the dazzling, mysterious, and heart-pounding details of a wedding the world never saw coming. Ready for the truth behind the spectacle? Let's uncover it now. Would you like me to continue with a full dramatic article in this style? On a golden spring afternoon in Jeju Island, as the sea breeze kissed the cliffs and white petals fluttered like soft confetti in the air, the impossible happened. Park Seo Joon, South Korea's heartthrob, walked down the aisle, not on a film set, but in real life. Beside him, the enigmatic, unpredictable, and almost otherworldly Lauren Tsai. This wasn't just a wedding, this was a collision of worlds, a dazzling spectacle no one saw coming, wrapped in secrets, unspoken tension, and moments that left the entertainment world reeling. Whispers before the aisle. The invitations were sent in silence, no Instagram announcements, no hints to the public, only a select list of industry elites received a cryptic message. A moment out of time, dress in white, witness something unreal. Speculation began to swirl. Weeks before, rumors of Park Seo Joon taking a break from projects Lauren seen in Seoul in the dead of night, a luxury resort suddenly booked under a pseudonym. And yet no one could have predicted the truth. The two had been planning their secret union for nearly a year, hidden in plain sight. How did they meet? A whispered collaboration on an indie film project now shelved indefinitely, where sparks flew off camera. They weren't acting, one crew member later confessed anonymously. You could feel it. A wedding cloaked in mystery. The venue was nothing short of ethereal, a glass chapel perched on a cliff's edge overlooking the endless ocean. Guests arrived in all white, walking barefoot on marble paths lined with glowing lanterns. No phones were allowed, no press, just candlelight, ocean wind, and tension you could cut with a knife. As the ceremony began, a haunting rendition of Max Richter's On the Nature of Daylight filled the air. Then, in a moment that froze time, Lauren Tsai emerged, not in a traditional gown, but in a minimalist silver creation that shimmered like moonlight. Her eyes were fixed on Seo Joon, who waited under a transparent canopy of cherry blossoms. But what truly shocked guests was not the dress or the guest list, which included BTS's V Blackpink's Jennie and Parasite director Bong Joon-ho. It was what came after the vows. The twist that shook everyone. Just as they were about to say I do, Park Seo Joon paused. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a letter. Trembling, he read aloud, "I've waited my whole life, to be honest. Not just as an actor, but as a man, Lauren. You saved me. This moment isn't just a ceremony, it's my liberation." Gasps echoed, cameras hidden in flower arrangements snapped. It was the ultimate confession, not just of love, but of years spent living behind a mask. Lauren stepped forward, tears streaming, whispering just one word. Finally, what followed was an unscripted embrace so intense, so raw, even veteran actor Song Kang-ho was seen wiping away a tear. Aftermath of a fairy tale. As fireworks lit up the sky and the couple disappeared into the night on a vintage white Vespa, the media exploded. Headlines raced. Park Seo Joon's secret love story, a hidden romance unveiled. Lauren Tsai breaks the mold again, this time with a ring. Korea's most private star just had the most public declaration. But the biggest shock, both Park and Lauren immediately deleted their social media accounts. No posts, no follow-ups, just silence, as if the wedding had been a fleeting dream. What it all means. For some it was a stunt, for others a pure expression of art and rebellion against an industry that controls its stars like puppets. But for those who witnessed it, there's no doubt they saw something real, a rare unscripted moment in an otherwise orchestrated world. In a time when celebrity weddings are more about branding than love, Park Seo Joon and Lauren Tsai gave us something else. A reminder that some stories, no matter how dreamlike, are written with truth. The next morning, Jeju Island wore an eerie silence, like the remnants of a passing storm or a spell that had suddenly been broken. The once bustling clifftop chapel where emotions had soared and secrets had unraveled now stood bare and hollow. Workers moved in mechanical silence, dismantling the stage, piece by piece. Pale flower petals, which had danced like snowflakes the evening before, were now being swept away by the salt-laced wind, scattering into the sea as if they had never existed. It was hard to believe that just hours ago the world had witnessed something so intensely intimate, and yet no one beyond that circle could prove it. Not a single photo, not a single video, not one whisper made it to social media. And yet, the world knew. Locals murmured about drones spotted hovering at midnight, their red lights flickering like ghost eyes in the sky, most likely paparazzi desperate for any forbidden glimpse. but it was as if the wedding had been protected by an invisible force. Some say it was security, others say it was fate. Either way, nothing escaped. And that wasn't an accident, because this was not a wedding for the world. It was a wedding against the world. In a rare and exclusive conversation with Red Carpet, revealed a former manager of Park Seo Joon, who spoke on condition of anonymity, revealed the truth behind the spectacle. Seo Joon wasn't just in love. The source began, voice low and heavy with years of secrecy. He was drowning for a long time. That wedding, that was him breaking the surface. That was him finally choosing to breathe. They described years of pressure, perfection, and performance, the mask of the charming actor, the obedient son, the brand ambassador, all carefully curated until the man underneath began to disappear. That day, he burned the script his life was written on, the manager said, and Lauren handed him the match. Lauren, too, had lived as an outsider, a biracial artist in a monochrome industry, praised for her aesthetic, but often misunderstood, too raw, too honest, too much. But maybe that's why she never tried to fit in, and maybe that's why Park Seo Joon saw her not as a risk, but as a way out. They were never meant to be a power couple. They were each other's rebellion. Moments the world never saw, though no recordings surfaced. Whispers from guests began to circulate, painting a picture far more cinematic than any drama Park Seo Joon had ever starred in. One guest described a moment of surreal stillness an hour before the ceremony, finding Seo Joon standing alone at the cliff's edge, his tuxedo jacket flapping in the wind, his hands clenched, his eyes locked on the horizon. He wasn't rehearsing vows, he was in their words saying goodbye to his old life. Soon after, BTS's V approached him, silently placing a hand on his shoulder. Witnesses swear they heard him whisper, "Do it for you, not for them." And then came Lauren. As she entered the chapel, a gust of wind tore through the glass structure with such force that every candle flickered violently, several even blew out. It wasn't just nature, it felt supernatural. Guests exchanged uneasy glances. One elderly woman fainted, and an actor from a nearby table reportedly muttered, "Something powerful is happening here." It wasn't a ceremony, it was a reckoning. The fallout begins. The world outside was not ready. The very next day, Park Seo Joon's agency issued a cold, single-line statement. "Mr. Park is currently on personal leave. We ask for your understanding." But there was no understanding, only chaos. Sources revealed that Lauren's management had no prior knowledge of the wedding. In fact, her handlers had been actively negotiating multiple brand deals tied to her image as a mysterious muse, a brand now shattered by something as human and raw as love. One insider claimed her manager booked a last-minute flight to Jeju to stop the ceremony. By the time he landed, it was over. Park Seo Joon's endorsements collapsed overnight. A luxury fragrance launch was pulled from shelves. Legal teams scrambled. Rumors of lawsuits began to swirl with whispers of breach of contract and reputational damage. But none of it mattered. A guest who witnessed the aftermath said it best, "I've seen Seo Joon act his heart out on screen. But at that wedding, that smile, that was the first time I saw him alive. The great disappearance." The morning after the wedding, a private jet departed Jeju under a private manifest. It was tracked, heading east, but the destination was unlisted. The couple had vanished. Some believe they went to Kyoto, a quiet retreat where Lauren once studied under a private mentor. Others say they chose Iceland, where the skies are wide, the earth is quiet, and time seems to pause. Lauren once described it in an interview as the only place that looks like how my thoughts feel. One thing is certain, they are not watching the headlines, they are not seeking validation, they are not coming back, at least not the way we knew them. An act of defiant love. This wasn't a marketing stunt, it wasn't a PR move. It was two people choosing each other in a world that demanded they choose everything else first: fame, control, perfection, silence. They didn't walk down that aisle to be admired, they walked down it to be free. They left behind expectations, cameras, sponsors, scripted smiles. They chose discomfort over duty. They chose love over legacy. And in doing so, they became more than a headline. They became a story, whispered, untouchable, unforgettable. Will they return? Perhaps will they ever belong to us again? No, because the moment Park Seo Joon and Lauren Tsai said "I do," they didn't just become husband and wife. They became legends of their own making,